think we have a good quorum to start. Let me tee it off for you, Dr. Castro. So welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us today. Our session here deals with redefining the enterprise landscape through AI-driven innovations. Our erudite speaker is Dr. Harvey Castro. He's an advisor at Phantom Space. He has an MD and an MBA. This session will explore how AI is fundamentally reshaping the landscape of pharma manufacturing, streamlining compliance, accelerating the time to market, and enhancing operational efficiency, while also driving innovation across broader enterprise ecosystems. So that's quite a mouthful there. So I know you have quite a bit to cover, Dr. Castro. So quick logistics, 20-minute session. The first 15 minutes is for the speaker. The last 5 minutes for Q&A. Over to you, Dr. Castro.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. We'll jump right in and we'll get right started. So let me get the thing. Can you hear that or no? If not, no worries.
No, we cannot hear the sound of the
All right.
video that you're sharing.
I'll skip this video then. All right, so we'll start with this one, and I apologize. I have two screens and I have a camera here on my left. So on the first one, I want to just focus on one simple thing. At the end of the day, we all are excited about AI, but I want to really drive that point that it's about our human gestalt, our years of experience, and then add artificial intelligence and use both together. It's going to give you a higher yield than just the human or just the AI. And I always think it's an important thing to state. Now, obviously, this is pharmacology. We're talking about innovation, and I always mess up the name of this, in Sicilio medicine. Obviously, they raised about $400 million. They were the first to market to create an AI-generated drug, and they were able to get it through phase 2. I'm not sure if they're now in phase 3, but the skinny is this. They're leveraging artificial intelligence, and they're doing it for many reasons, and I'll go into here in the next slides. Artificial intelligence in pharmacology, we're looking at an increased projected growth of 42.68%. Believe it or not, AI adoption in pharmacology is about 95% of all the companies are using some level of AI. On the manufacturing side, obviously this is where I was headed at. You know, it's complex, a lot of compliance, a lot of costs when it comes to R&D. The development of these drugs are expensive and it's slow to develop. And the quality controls of these things and operational efficiencies are there. And so it's like the perfect storm. If you have AI, you're combining and now being able to leverage all of these things. Some estimates are saying some of these drug companies are able to save now up to 90%. So if that drug costs $1 billion, now it costs $100 million. But as a doctor, I can tell you this right now. If I can drive that cost down, that makes me closer to personalized medicine, where I can get your genome, I can get your DNA, and then create drugs that are just for you, not for your spouse, not for your kids. And so think about that. Now, maybe my side effects are not as bad. Maybe the efficacy, the amount of drug that I have to give you is very little. And so these are the kind of things from an administrator point of view. Keep in mind that, yes, we're using it already. We're using it to dictate. We're using it to do predictive analytics. But going into pharmacy, man, that's a whole new world. If I can be able to use AI to help me with my automation process, with streamlining the process, there's multiple different AI agents, and I looked it up. There's over 30 sources that I found of different processes and different steps in the AI drug development process that's able to leverage AI. Novartis AE Brain basically has that system where they're manually going through the different levels of compliance. As you know, things are in stages. So to be able to put an algorithm to help you through and use artificial intelligence. As a doctor, you know, I had to read tons and tons of books. But if I could put that into AI and generalize it, make it more simple, explain it better to my colleagues, I mean, that's half the battle. Quality control obviously is a big one. They're looking at different AI models and the vision portion to be able to just look at the capsules and look at the vials and say, you know what, that is a defect in real time. Those are the things we kind of do, and that helps us reduce those human errors and sterility problems that we're having. Now, this is the number one thing. The year 2025 is the year of the AI agent. And think of it this way, having multiple hats. If you are working on I'm going to just use this simple diagram. If you're the boss, then the AI agent is just doing what the boss does. The next one is the senior engineer. The next one is the modeling expert. And the next one is the reviewer. So think of all the different stages, but instead of having that human, you're putting that AI to do that one task. And here's the crazy part. All of these agents can talk to each other. So it sounds like to all of us like, well, maybe I don't have to show up at work. No, my first slide was to tell you it's human plus AI. It's your clinical gestalt so that when you're seeing these agents making outputs, you can say, you know what, this is wrong. It's going down the wrong path. Let me redirect it. Let me do some reinforced learning. As we start looking forward, man, I'm really stoked about AI short drug discoveries are now from 5 to 6 years to just 1 year. So think about it. If we have all the power and tools today, and you guys are like, hey, we need to fix problem X, it may take me 1 year instead of us thinking 5 years from now we'll have that product. It's like, no, we'll be testing it in a year. And that's the power of these models. As you can see, everyone's heard of AlphaFold. AlphaFold in medical school, it was that whole lock and key. And if you could figure out that configuration and to best make that effect, you'd be able to unlock things to do certain functions. And so that is what AlphaGold is doing. It's able to predict what that molecule looks like. And me as a scientist, be able to see what's the best lock key effect. And if I can figure out that puzzle, I'm halfway there. And so I'm really stoked about seeing these kind of things. Another one, Exisia developed an AI designed cancer drug in just 1 year. Again, the AlphaFold. Clinical trials, I'm really excited about that. If you're into investing, knowing that company X can get to market a lot sooner than as an investor, I'm like, let's go for it. As a doctor, I want to make sure that I'm doing what's best for my patients. And so I'm really excited about how these drugs will make a difference. I'll give you a personal example. My grandfather has macular degeneration. He and I have been playing chess for years. Unfortunately, his eyesight, he and I cannot play chess as well as we used to. But now with CRISPR technology, imagine I using AlphaFold and combining with CRISPR, and now I'm able to give him an injection. And before the disease happens to me or to my kids, I can correct those genes. Having this kind of technology gets me there a lot sooner. I'm looking at the AI pharmacy supply chain, same thing. As we know, when we had COVID, there was all these supply chain issues. If we had AI monitoring, knowing that this drug will expire here, this one won't, we need to transfer, it makes that supply chain move a lot faster and smoother and making sure we're not having expired drugs. A quick example, I know there was going blank on the name of the country in Africa, but they had a certain drug that they were able to move through drones. And they were able to see in real time using AI their drug supply at different parts of that country. And so they were able, instead of wasting all that drugs, they would have it in one central place and would be able to deliver it. And then when they knew their supplies was going down, they would just give them just enough so that nothing would go to waste. I thought that was brilliant. Pfizer has AI logistics. Again, same thing, forecasting the supply chain, this enhancing the efficiency of those drug distribution networks. Again, leveraging AI to see which place should be the place to get that medication to that location. I mentioned this earlier when we talked about AI personalized medicine, that personalized treatment plan. I'm really stoked. The older I get, the more important I see this is for me. What I tell everybody, and I'll tell you guys, take care of your health, because in the next 5 years, there are going to be so many changes, so many advances that you want to make sure you haven't damaged your body. And that maybe if we can't print another heart or we can't print another brain, that you haven't damaged it, and that these kind of personalized AI agents is going to bring that for you. Now, IBM Watson, long time ago, our idea was to create AI drugs for oncology. Unfortunately, everybody knows that went downhill, didn't happen. But I'm not promoting these companies, but Tempus and Ancora Medical are doing what Watson wanted to do, which was basically, you have cancer, how can I treat you? Where are the clinical trials? What places can I send you? What are the best drugs? And now the GPUs are better, the AI has gotten better. Now we're able to do things that they wish they could have done back then. As I move forward, I'm excited about Roche's AI diagnostic cancer, being able to do that whole precision diagnostics. I'm very excited about digital twins. As an aside, I have a digital twin on my website, and I put it on the comments so you can take a look at it. But the skinny is this. If I knew what I am digitally, and I'm able to give myself different medication, different scenarios, and see how I would react, now that digital twin, I'm able to experiment and do all these things, and I'm not really doing it to me. And so now the efficacy of that drug can be much better, knowing that I'm trying different therapies. AI business strategy. the more and more I think about it, I don't see any other way but using AI to definitely drive R&D and create that competitive advantage. To me, makes no sense. If your competition is not doing it, it takes them 5 years and it takes you 1 year. By the time you already made your couple of billions on it, they're still working on stage 1 or 2. Mentioned already Novartis AI, first drug discovery, predictive analytics. As an emergency room doctor, that's huge. But again, like I mentioned earlier, that example in Africa, being able to predict what location needs what drug and be able to move that medication. Natural language processing, automating the regulatory compliance safety, that's another one. If you don't know, my favorite phrase for the year is, if you don't know what you don't know, right? But if you have AI being able to extract data and be able to tell you, hey, this is coming down the pipeline. Trump has proposed this in regulation. Now you know that this is coming. And so you're able to navigate your company. So again, that'd be another one. AI robotics, huge. Enhancing the pharmacy process automation. We've seen the robots getting the medicine. I think that is the future, and I'll add the vision of these robots. I predict by the year 2026, we'll start seeing these robots in the hospital system, doing the work what hospital systems would normally have, like a nurse or giving medication, but this will be more mainstream. AI regulation and compliance, obviously these things hallucinate. We need to make sure that these compliance is meeting the FDA and EMA guidelines, and we're automating these issues. A lot of movement is coming in this direction. There's different types of AI, as you know. I'm excited to see that. Obviously, you guys will hear it 100 times about the privacy and bias. I really don't want to go into that, but the skinny is this. We got to make sure that these sample sizes that we're using is a true reflection of what you're serving. So if you're in India, if you're in South Africa, but you're using data that's from a certain part of the United States, it may not apply. It may be totally wrong. So what I'm constantly advising companies that I work with is make sure that we're creating LLMs that are local to your area. And if you don't have that, I help them set up like a federated learning, but we can talk about that later. On the AI workforce and transformation, I'm really excited because that whole thing, my first slide showing that human plus AI working together, I really think that's next level. That's how we're going to help improve our profession as a pharmacist or as a doctor. We're able to really transform the workforce. I'm biased, and I know my doctors out there hearing will not like what I'm about to say, but I truly think using AI and med school may not need 4 years. Maybe you need 3 years. Maybe you need 2 years. I think we'll be able to learn quicker and more efficiently, and I do see AI transforming. I won't show this video, but the skinny it's this bot from the World Health Organization speaks 8 different languages, and I can see this being your pharmacist, helping you ask Q&A sessions. And like we talked about, using AI to better communicate, I definitely see this in the pharmacy. And then I know we only have a little bit of time, and I want to leave time for the Q&A. So basically, final takeaways, AI for sure will accelerate drug discovery and compliance. It will definitely help us with our supply chain and precision medicine. I really think this is the beginning to get to that precision medicine. And AI really will help us throughout the regulatory process, throughout to stay in compliance and give us that competitive advantage. For sure, I would say if you're not using AI right now, I use it on everything. I'm going to encourage everybody out there to use it for everything. The more and more you use it, it's just like riding a bike. Last year, I need to update these, but I gave cheat sheets away. That it was just like the latest cheat sheets on how to use ChatGPT in healthcare, different AI. And then later, I was play this, and you can't hear it, but it was a pharmacy song that I made for this conference. And then this is another prompt. And then there's my QR code. So if you want to get a hold of me, just scan that. That takes you to my website. And then I really wanted to thank everybody for your time. And I know it went fast, but I want to make sure we have time for Q&A.
Dr. Harvey, Dr. Castro. So this is a lot of information that you shared in maybe 10 tops 12 minutes. That's a lot of information. As a doctor, right? I mean, looks like AI is going to touch pretty much the entire gamut, right? Maybe in a few years. It's already happening because I keep in touch with so much from drug discovery to dispensing and even working in the hospitals, like you said, it's going to happen. But do you think the industry is ready? Because I know, don't get me wrong, doctors are not good with technology, traditionally speaking, stereotypically speaking. But there's a big change, right, in how the systems are going to operate. Will there be a huge resistance or like anything else when there's a change, or this is inevitable, it's going to happen?
Great question. Definitely what I tell startups is we need to work on the culture. If I gave this same presentation in Silicon Valley, everybody'd be giving me high fives, but like, this is boring, keep going, let's go, let's go, let's go. If I do this in East Texas, they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know what you just said. Let's go back to what this thing ChatGPT is, and the culture's not ready. And so what I try to do as a doctor is I'm trying to teach doctors, healthcare professionals how to think different, how to leverage these tools. And one of my advices for startups is do not show them the limousine. They're going to run you out of the hospital. They do not want your widget. Show them simple stuff. Show them the transcription that my voice is transcribing. Show them things that's not going to threaten them. And then as that company starts understanding how things work and that C-suite starts getting comfortable with those tools, then show them the next level, because that's the way to do it. You're right. Doctors are resistant to change. The people in power, I'm not being I don't want to say biased when I say this, but it sounds biased. It's going to be older doctors that have been in power for a while. The younger doctors understand, they get it, they want to jump in. The older doctors are resistant to change. They're not sure how this works. So my goal is, let me teach them how it works. Let me show them the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then if they truly understand, they're more likely to implement, because I'm changing the culture.
Yep. Tanay, you had a question? We can't hear you, Tanay.
Well, Tanay is fixing his audio, Dr. Castro.
If you want to put in the chat.
Yep.
Yeah, Tanay, put your question in the chat, please. What you just said is pretty revolutionary, see, if like we have the pharma industry, now you have the doctors, right? It's not easy to kind of put a new thought into this kind of people who are very engaged with what they are engaged into on day-to-day basis, right? So what you're doing is truly inspiring to your community, the doctor community, and of course and it will impact other industries as well.
And that's my goal. If you look up Harvey Castro and put it TEDx, I did a whole TEDx on AI and healthcare, how we can change humanity, how we can help people.
Very cool.
Yeah, I was impressed also. Your following even on LinkedIn is pretty huge. And you don't see that many doctors, right? Like spearheading the AI revolution, even though it's touching almost every aspect of drug discovery, drug manufacturing, even drug dispensing, hospitals, everything, right? It's doing it. But I think it's good to see. Dr. Castro, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you stopping by and and giving us good insights from your vantage, because you're the only doctor, I think, medical doctor in this entire conference. We have 15 sessions. So I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate all you guys. It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you.